Exciting developments are unfolding in the healthcare factor, in the elder care sector. Last year, Aged Care Labs raised 11 million in a pre-series B funding round, which was led by Nithin Kamath's Rain Matter Capital and Rain Gruhas. Exciting developments are unfolding, and similarly, Primus Senior Living secured 20 million in seed funding backed by General Catalyst and which was supported by Nikhil Kamath and Gruhas. Well, these milestones highlight the growing interest and potential in the age tech space. So we're going to be having him connect virtually here with us, but we have a moderator, so please help me in welcoming Mr. Adarsh Narahari, ex-chairman from ASLI, Managing Director, Primus Senior Living, to join us on stage, please.
Very good morning, everyone. A warm welcome to all of you. Thank you for being here. All of you being here is a great testament to the potential this sector holds. Special thanks to people who have flown in from overseas, Andrew, Nathaniel, Bill, and the team from Sompo. Unfortunately, Nithin couldn't be here in person today. He had a travel emergency, but he's graciously accepted to join us online. He's going to be joining us in a few minutes, but let me tell you a little bit about Nithin. I'm sure all of you know who Nithin is. He's probably one of India's most celebrated entrepreneurs. They control something like 15% of all stock market value. But in the context of senior care and health, I know for a fact that this is something that's very close to Nithin's heart. He's a big believer in impact businesses. He's a big believer in any business that is built around health. And he's somebody who has a very, very long-term view. He's not someone who will come and give you capital and say, hey, you need to show me some returns in the next year or next couple of years. He's very happy to be invested for a decade and things like that. I think that's what makes him different. The other thing is he's a strong proponent of health, which I'm sure you'll hear him talk about today, and how he looks at health and how he looks at aging. So this is what makes him an amazing speaker for us to have here with us today. And we're very grateful that he could make this time. Let me just check up. Has he joined online? Okay. Great. Thank you. Thank you for joining us virtually.
It's sorry to not being there. I was had a last minute travel. So.
Thank you nevertheless for making time. And I was just telling the audience here about how you're a big believer in long-term impact, how you're a big believer in people who solve for health, and how you're also a very patient investor. And that's what makes you an amazing person to hear from. Of course, all your achievements is something that's already out there. But today, I'd like to talk a little bit more about your lens on aged care, healthcare, and the way that you see this sector. So we'll start off, Nithin. So we'll talk about what this sector is and what you see as, some of the gaps in the industry, right? So if you were to build in the sector of aged care and senior living or age tech, where do you see the gap? What would you address first?
I think the gap is, I don't really think it's a gap, but really mainstreaming the idea that it is not old age homes but senior care, as in that is really the problem to solve. And I think eventually it will catch up. Eventually, people will understand and appreciate that this is not really, this is like senior care, but currently the problem is how do you remove the social stigma that exists and etc. So, and I think also how do we address to the population beyond the top 1 to 5%, as in, because most of what everyone is building today is catering to that percentage of population. And there's going to be a large senior population outside the top 1 to 5%. how do we address that is also a problem that we need to think about.
I'm going to caveat the question a little more. So the people in this room are all for profit, and whether we like it or not, the 1 to 5% are the people who pay us. So my request is we'll try to address that group today. While I'm sure you and Rain Matter are doing a lot for the 95%, this group is doing for the 5%. So if you were building in that 5%, what would you build?
I mean, I would definitely build for, the senior care, as in, I would, any aspect of it, I don't care what it is, I would be building for that. I mean, I don't want to pick up, like, ideas and say, this is the idea that I like. But I think the key is to not think short term, right? As in, because I think this is a long-term business. Think of it almost as a 15-year-old business, as in, because most of the VC-able startups and ideas that you get, you tend to sign up term sheet with saying that you'll give an exit in 7 to 10 years. And this is more like a 15 to 18-year journey, and we are way ahead in the race. Way behind in the race, because we are trying to build a startup and hope that the trend eventually catches up. So I guess it's about that.
So before you came on the call, I was just telling this audience that Nithin takes a 10-year horizon on whatever he invests in. But you said 18. So all of you heard that, guys. I don't think you can ever get an investor like Nithin who will say, it's okay, go figure it out, we'll wait with you, right? So we're grateful for people who are there who look at businesses in this lens. So moving on, Nithin, we have seen that bringing in some, an angle of financial literacy, most of the people that we cater to typically put all their money in FDs, right? Typically elders put all their money in FDs. So what are some of the things that you would do to probably guide them for better, I don't know if the word is better, but for financial planning beyond FDs?
I mean, I don't know. As in, I don't know if people should be putting beyond FDs. Because
you're a stock market broker, you can't say that.
No, I got a vested interest, but really, in a sense that as you grow older, your risk-taking appetite goes down. And by the time you're 60, 70, I don't think you should really have any stock market exposure left. Because you saved up all these years for that, for your retirement and etc. So I mean, you definitely have something like G-Secs and T-bills, which are government-backed, which are probably safer than bank FDs, but I'd say, bank FDs and that too maybe the largest banks in the country, and just having the sense that my investments or my savings is safe is critical at that age, because you don't want to handle any kind of volatility in terms of your saving and investing at least at that age. So I don't think any other instrument really is an option. Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk a bit about technology. Obviously, you see a lot of cutting-edge stuff around you. But when it comes to senior care, what are some of the technological trends that you foresee or you would like to see in terms of how care is delivered?
I'm super excited about the GLP-1 drugs, right? The semaglutide, different forms of semaglutide, because in India it's really the diabetic capital of the world, right? And most of our the old age problems are really arising out of diabetes, and and we have found this wonder drug that basically is counter to that, and more importantly, the food that we consume are like low protein and uh, and highly processed, as in it's turning highly processed as time goes by, as in so I think the GLP-1 drugs, especially because it's going off patent in 2026-27, is going to be the key, and I'm sure Dr. Reddy's and Biocom, etc., will do a great job in making it available to the public at prices which are absolutely nothing. And I think the life expectancy, the India's life expectancy is what, 67 or 68. So it's bound to go up over the next 5 to 10 years. And in turn, it's hugely beneficial for you guys as a market. So I think I'm super excited about that. In terms of AI, a lot is being said, and I don't think the current bunch of old people are really the types who can interact with the automated voice or automated chat or etc. Maybe when I'm old, and I'm at the age of being in a senior care, I would probably consume AI. And I guess AI is generally in terms of any automation. I think India is still early for it, and maybe 10, 15 years is what it'll take. That's what I got. That's talking, but that's what it feels like.
In terms of technology, do you see anything else other than, say, for medical care management or nutrition? Do you see any other technology coming in for the current set of elders?
See, the medical care, the management, etc., they are straightforward vendor-based products. As in, potentially you can, now that you have you as the industry, then there are going to be vendors who are going to come with products and you can consume on top of it. I don't think that's really cutting edge as such. But that's bound to happen.
So let's jump into a bit of a personal question for you. Since you said when you get older, would you consider putting your mom into a senior living facility?
My mom is super active and social. I think she's like a 40-year-old in a 65-year-old body. 65-year-old in a 40-year-old body. So I don't think my mom really needs to be put in a senior care living. But my dad, who passed away last year, definitely did. And from the time he retired at 60, I've seen the deterioration in terms of his health, in terms of his mental, physical, everything, So, and he didn't, it's as if his life, almost ended when he retired. Like he had no social circle, he didn't have anything to challenge himself. And I, like a good son, decided to get him a nurse 4 or 5 years back. And I remember 3 or 4 years ago when we caught up, and I told you about me getting a nurse for him, and you told me that it's probably more harmful in terms of what you could do to your father. I definitely think that he would have benefited significantly from from living in a senior care kind of setup. But I don't know. I after meeting you, I thought about it quite a bit, and we are staying in a joint family, and I mean, we're staying in the same house. He's got his grandchild. I mean, it didn't feel right to ask him to, go and try out. I think as long as the person, the senior is himself not willing to, I don't think the juniors in the house can really push people, So I think it has to be like that. It has to be that. It has to come from the senior saying, I want to go live here because, I have a social circle and etc. So, but that's one thing I regret. I maybe should have pushed him to try it out at least.
Thank you, Nithin. Thank you for sharing that personal journey around your father. But most of us actually cater to active seniors who all behave like they're 18, but they may be 80 or they may be 75. So there may be a blind spot that it's not for active people. So a lot of people in this room actually deal with seniors who are like you and me, except they are above 60. And they just want a life of convenience and comfort and being in a stress-free environment. But thank you for sharing that, Nithin. I'm going to go a little deeper into your journey around health. Sometime in the last year, you had a health scare. Seema had a health scare, right? Could you tell me a little bit about how your perspectives about health and longevity changed from your own lens? And what are you doing today that a 80, 85-year-old Nithin would look back and say, I think I did something right in my 40s?
I guess we keep talking about the uncertainty of life, but me and Seema got to really experience that. And Seema first with a cancer, then me with a stroke early this year. And I think I wonder. So, in a way, I think both of us came out out of it extremely soon. And then I think both of us stayed very positive. When she was going through a cancer episode, I remember, I think 1 week or 2 weeks after surgery, she was back on the treadmill. And I was back on the treadmill after a week. So just being positive is really what has helped us, and not just me and her, be it my mom or be it Nikhil or be it my son, everyone in a family was like it was very positive, I think that's really the key. The key is to just think of what is bygone as a bygone, and it's an accident. It can happen to anyone. And but I in terms of food and all, I don't know. I feel what happened with me is in terms of longevity, etc. I don't think I could have done anything differently. I was the fittest myself last January. I've done Ironman, I've done high rocks, etc. So it was really like a culmination of dad passing away, stress with dad. I'm not really stressed, I would say. I hadn't slept for a few days. I had contracted COVID. I had, uh, I was dehydrated because I'd gone to his hometown and we were across many temples and etc. So all of that together probably, when some of this accident happened. In terms of my longevity, I care. I mean, this year I care a lot more about the kind of quality of food that goes in. I question almost everything that's put on my table, right? As in, at home, in a sense, at home, if there is, like the sabji made, I would question where was the food sourced from, to the extent that was it really organic, and etc. So we are going to kind of like a prototype a small little farm.
Oh, wow.
Because I think in India people don't question that. People assume the food as such. In terms of another thing about quality of your longevity is the quality of air. I stay kind of not really outskirts, but a little out of town, just because the air quality is better, is under 20, and so I think you do all of this and you don't die for the next 20 and next 20, 30 years. I think the technology is progressing so much that I think the next 20, 30 years, if we don't die, we will live over 20 years or more. As in, it's especially GLP drug, as in, who would have thought, as in this could even be possible, right? As in, that's really it.
So that's a good thing for people in this room, right? If most people make it beyond 60, you're saying that they live above 100. Did I hear you correctly?
Yeah. I mean,
okay.
from now onwards, the next 20 years, next 15, 20 years, people find a way to don't die. So they can.
Well, Brian Johnson is in India, in Bangalore right now, so it seems to be a bit of a word going around. So that's great news for all of us in the room. We're going to have a whole bunch of centurions, so they'll need stuff to be taken care of for them, right?
Yeah, I mean, the issue is financially is the issue. As in, most people have factored in like the 20 to 30-year-old, maximum 20 to 30 years of savings when they retire. Now, if they have to live a 6-year life after retiring, how would they be financially secure is a question. That's a larger question we need to ask. But yeah.
So one other thing, Nithin, I'm just going to circle back, because in India, this emotion that children are the best caregiver for their parents and that parents should be in the same house is a very strong notion and emotion, right? But a lot of data and science has proved that elders actually age slower when surrounded by friends as well as family in communities and in a stress-free setup, right? But how would you go about changing this notion that what some of us do is essentially a vruddhashram or an old age home? And the same applies to even people who seek care at home. Because we have always been taught that we should, respect our parents, we should give them reverence. We have never been taught that we should give them relevance and make them independent, because that makes them feel good. But how would you go about changing this narrative at scale around this country?
Well, the thing is, because at home I wasn't successful in terms of changing the narrative. So every time, we have invested in a few startups in the space, and I question this myself, as in what would I have changed, or what could I have changed. I think it's a lot tougher when you have joint families, because it's it carries a lot of stigma. But the good thing for you as an industry is that people are not living in joint families anymore. So um, it's kind of reducing at really fast rate. So you know, I guess if the family is not living together, then it probably is an incentive for the kid to ask the parent to go stay in a place like this. So it's a lot less, uh, you know, uh, headache, uncertainty, and etc. Um, so I guess that is the overall trend the industry has to play with, and
So,
get it right.
funnily enough, like you mentioned, almost always, like in our case, about 95% of all the people who bought are elders themselves, and they made their own decisions with their own
Right.
money and resources. So, you're right when you say that it has to be elder first and led by the elder, and not the children telling the elder what to do.
Right. I mean,
So,
uh, how does it scale as a question? As in,
yeah.
how do you, like, out of 1,000 potential customers, how do you get, 600, 700 elders to feel like they want to stay in in such a community is the question. And as in, it is going to happen. It's just a matter of time. Uh, and I guess all of you guys will have to be patient.
So, Nitin, what is your vision of this industry for the next 10, 20 years? What are the mega trends that you see happening in India?
uh, See, the thing is, I mean, we, I don't see there uh, any trends per se. As in, the bet is not on the trend that something's gonna change, or the bet is that people, elder, needs, you know, a community to live in, right? As in a community where they can interact with people, they can, uh, uh, you know, like the whole thing. So, uh, I mean, yeah. So I don't think of any trends as such. So.
Okay. So, a lot of people in this room, of course, are also looking to raise money. So, for those of them who are looking to raise some money, can you talk to us a little bit about what you look for in age tech? What do you look for in a founder? And what's your general perspective on investing in this space?
I think about this space, like I was saying earlier, it's about the skill set required is to survive, like breathing, like that cockroach that can uh, survive like a long period of time, and skill set is going to be that's going to be the most important thing. And when people come, when they have these business models that say that in 7 years, or 10 years, uh, I think it's not that. It's not a traditional VCable model also, because there is no trend that you're catching. You're trying to say the trend is going to come, and we have to play it along. So, like I was telling earlier, it's potentially a 15 to 20-year-old, 15 to 20-year-old business, and the business model has to factor in that. And the business model, I don't think, can be built saying, at the end of 1 year I need this much money, at the end of 3 years I need this much money, at the end of 5 years I need this much. And I mean, I think the idea is to build a business slower and not really, not really chase growth at any cost, and especially, in this space, So I think that's really the key. In terms of product, etc., I mean, it's a given that the best product wins, as in it's there's no two ways about it. I mean, I'm assuming that you're the best product in your category, and after that, what is the second, third question? It's about this.
Absolutely. No, that's very important, and very few people take that approach. So I think, guys, what Nithin is essentially saying is, if it's tough, stick around. If you do the right thing for long enough, I think great businesses get built with patience. And Nithin and Nikhil are great examples of great businesses built with a lot of patience. So, with that, Nithin, thank you so much. I'm going to just open it up to the audience, and we'll come back to you with some questions. So, guys, anybody has any questions for Nithin? If you could pass the mic to the gentleman at the back. Yeah, so just a couple of questions we have time for. Please, sir.
Yeah. My name is Dharmarajan. My question pertains to the social stock exchange, which was instituted recently. We have, more of non-profit organizations and a certain few FPEs also permitted, for-profit enterprises as well on the SSE. But we don't find any one of them particularly focused towards senior living. It's more towards skill development and environment and sanitation and maybe education and stuff like that. Do you think we can have some focus towards FPEs, which are senior living focused as well?
Yeah. I mean, firstly, the social service, it's meant for not-profits to raise money from people. And currently the problem is people can't really participate in it. Right? So, the idea is eventually like how you can apply for your IPOs using UPI. You can apply for social stock exchange, using UPI. That's what I think it's the idea will become more mainstream. In terms of FPs related to senior care, the thing, it needs to have project. It needs to have, saying this project is for social stock exchange. You need to have a project. I'm trying to think, what project can you go and raise capital from social investors? Right now I can't think of anything, but let me give it more thought, and I'll probably get in touch with Adarsh and reach out. As in, I can't really think of what aspect of an FP building for a building for senior care will come under a social stock exchange. Yeah. So.
Thank you. Thanks, Nithin. We have time for one more question, guys.
Hi. I heard you mention that you're confident that seniors won't be consuming AI products directly themselves, but what are your thoughts around caregivers, physicians, nurses in the senior care sector using AI to provide better care or to scale up their capabilities? Do you see that being useful?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I'm sorry, I should have probably told that when I answered the questions, and definitely, I find that I think that all of the people that you mentioned, by using AI, they can increase efficiency in terms of the AI, the product, etc. They can offer. So I definitely think so.
Awesome. Thank you, Nithin. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a nice weekend. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
all. Thanks for being a great audience.
Well, that was quite an insightful session for all of us indeed.